Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the second half of the pro-revenge story we just did. So if you haven't seen the first part, make sure you go do that now. It'll be in the top of the description or it should be just on the channel. You'll see it as part 1. But we're going to pick up exactly where we left off and I hope you enjoy. Needless to say, rumours soon spread that I was cheating on Doug with some other young man, along with the high schoolers who I supposedly worked with off the clock. Still, I tried to grind it out. But I would plan my revenge too if it came to that. I'm mature, but I'm not above getting even. I went through 12 years of crap growing up. I'd be damned if I resigned myself to a lifetime of crap as a grown-up. I flatter myself that I was at least sort of cool in college. Heh. First thing I did was let my principal know what was going on. My plan was, if she addressed the bullying at a future meeting and put an end to it, then hey, I wouldn't even need to get revenge. I'd just go back to doing my job and minding my own business. I was kind of hoping that the principal would back me up, as up until now, aside from the red flag about being obsessed with the school, getting money, and not with students learning anything, she seemed friendly enough, if a bit detached from her school's day-to-day operations. I told her that students would tell me quietly that Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. What's-her-name told them that I was dating a student or cheating on my husband. More than one kid would tell me these kind of things. I knew my kids weren't trolling me, as over the months I'd established a good rapport with all of them. Principal basically gaslights me and tells me I'm being paranoid. It's a high school, she says. In high schools, there are rumours. It's part of the territory. Yeah, I reply, but the rumours are usually from students, not adults. She doesn't really address this, other than to tell me that I need to grow up and not let petty things like supposed rumours. She tells me to be the bigger person. Nah. I should have mentioned that I had brought my cell phone in with me, and had been recording the principal's responses to what I had been saying, which was good for the case I was building, because, as if on cue, the vice principal comes walking by once again. World's greatest Chad, coffee mug in hand. Oh, hey, Mr. Vice Principal dude, come in really quick. I thought Principal was going to tell him about my concerns about the rumour that I was basically both an adulterer and was also trying to go to jail for having illicit fun with minors. But no. Instead, Principal and Vice Principal complained to me that I am being too thorough in my grading of math work from students on other teachers' rosters. I explained that I'm trying to do my job according to the employee handbook they themselves had given me. And according to the 2-day training seminar, standard for all teachers of independent study schools where I live, they had mandated I attend prior to my first day of employment. They tell me that I needed to play ball, and that our task was to get these kids out the door with that diploma in hand. I counter with, what good is a diploma if they don't actually know any history, or how to read, or how to use the scientific method, or whatever? The principal actually calls me a pretentious wannabe female Jaime Escalante, a famous calculus teacher. They both strongly encourage me to use my professional judgment, i.e. place my teaching license in jeopardy, by assigning passing marks to work that is clearly not passing. I get all of this on record. I make sure to email a backup copy of the MP3 to my outside email address. Our school plays it slick when it comes to the school board inspecting our paperwork. Whenever the principal knows the state is coming for an inspection of our packets, an audit they like to call it, they have each of us take extra special care to grade about 3 or 4 packets in our subject area very thoroughly. These packets are placed in a file cabinet in the middle of the classroom, so as to imply they represent our average work. All other packets with BS grades on them go to these other file cabinets in back, that school never invites the inspectors to look at. We tend to empty out students' folders into these file cabinets after they graduate. The school had a policy that once a packet was 3 months old, we only had to retain the cover with the teacher's grades and comments to save cabinet space, thereby destroying evidence that the actual packet behind the cover was never actually done properly. The phony cabinet in the middle of the classroom represented active work. The only two sort of friends I make at school were the music teacher and computer teacher, who taught small labs only once a week, and both of whom had other full-time jobs and were married, not to each other, and had families. The music teacher taught at a local community college and did the charter school just as a side hustle, and the computer guy consulted and made 6 figures. I therefore didn't feel too much guilt about what I was going to do. Still, I quietly hinted at my plan to both of them on the day they came to campus, and both of them were like, do it. After getting the principal and vice principal, and the counselor too, who also just happened to be walking by, all encouraged me to basically commit academic fraud. I thought, F 'em. I also suspected, and later confirmed, that they had a secret buzzer system to surreptitiously call one another from their desks, which is why they always happen to be available at the same time when necessary or convenient. I snuck toward the filing area where all of our BS student work credits were stored, and day by day, over a period of 3 months, took video of hundreds of packet covers, all of them labeled with academic grades, teacher comments, and teacher signatures. I, of course, also continued the videos to show page after page of blank work and incomplete work, nonsensical work. English packets especially were rife with ridiculous gibberish, sometimes even mocking the teachers, like, "Miss English teacher lady is a bleep, and she doesn't even grade our work, lol." And the cover would have Miss English teacher's lady signature along with A+, fantastic. You are such a talented writer. Sure enough, after 3 months, the secretary, who was also kind of snooty and played on her smartphone and uploaded selfies to Instagram all day, even though she was like 55, shredded mountains of bogus work and filed only the covers. Throughout this whole time, I'd been slyly walking about the classroom in such a way that other teachers would think I wasn't trying to look at them or what was on their computer. And I'd catch a video of them on Facebook, or Plenty of Fish, or shopping on eBay. And they have a student interviewing right in front of them. What the actual F? At home one day, I asked Doug how to do a remote microphone that I could control from far away. He's like, "What for? Are you trying to be James Bond?" But he's so smart and it's child's play for him. So he personally rigs one up for me at work. Basically, it's like a wireless mic that isn't a detectable Bluetooth, and he sets a way for me to turn it on and off from far away. I'm like, that's awesome. Can I have 10? He smiles, but he asks no questions because he's awesome like that. Next day, he has a dozen of them. I want it so there's no way for my devices to appear when the other teachers turn on their Bluetooth earpieces. I'm always the first at work because my co-workers tend to be irresponsible people. So even though everyone is supposed to be at their desks by 8 AM, most of them drift in at 8:10, 8:20, and so on. I'm there at 7:30 just in case. I know the code how to get in on the keyless entry side door, let myself in, and slip a mic between everyone's desk. Each mic has this mini watch battery that's supposed to last quite a long time. I bring my old smartphone that I don't use anymore and make sure it has a huge capacity SD card that my husband got for me installed. I connect it as a wireless audio input for the mics. I then hit record, and every day for 2 weeks, I hear the teachers, most of whom are wearing Bluetooth headsets ever since it became uncool to yell gossip across the room, talking trash all day long. Totally unrelated to work, saying the most inappropriate things about other teachers, the principal, even the kids. Some of the things these middle-aged women would say about what they would love to do with that young blonde god over there made me want to puke. Of course, these teachers are too stupid to simply text one another if they really want to sneak around and talk trash. To them, the Bluetooth thing is easier. It stung, but I knew I struck gold when I heard them spreading false rumors about me, calling me an effing B, a pretentious, big city loser with no friends. They definitely get me fired. They also talk about how they didn't grade and just pretended to. That they were so glad that they could sit all day instead of teach in the district. How it was a cushy job. How they were tricking state inspectors during audits. Every day, during my lonely lunches, when they all went off to, I don't know, Applebee's? I loaded the previous day's MP3s into my real phone and edit out the dead air and keep all of the good stuff. I then emailed all these as separate, dated files to my outside email address. This whole time, I continued to grade as normal and take my time doing my job correctly. I knew I was going to pull the trigger soon anyway, but the last straw came when my latest student finished her last credit. Coincidentally, a math one that I graded thoroughly, and now had enough credits to graduate. Every time a student graduates, we're supposed to blow party horns and give them a little congratulations trophy. And they'd get their diploma in the mail a week or two later. Students had the option of attending a school-wide formal graduation at the end of the school year in June if they had graduated any time during that year from September onward. Most tended, however, to go right into the workforce or to the local junior college or state school. So, I blow my little party horn for this girl, and everyone in the classroom, students and teachers, clap enthusiastically. The girl's mum and dad and little brother come that day to the classroom and insisted on having a photo with me, and they all gave me a big hug. Later, I reviewed the audio recordings of that day, and when the girl graduated, the other teachers were saying I had switched teams and was into eating rug. They also said a lot of really mean things about her and her family. A lot of it totally racist. This family was Hispanic, and all the teachers and admin, including me, are white. It just so happened both the music teacher and computer guy were on campus that day. So, in true, half-baked fashion, at the end of the day when the classrooms was empty of students and teachers, had the last 5 minutes to close down their computers, I walked from teacher to teacher, purse and other small belongings in hand, saying, F you, F you, F you. Passed by the computer guy, you're cool. Passed by the music lady, you're cool. F you, F you, F you. I walk into the principal's office while the other teachers are still in shock. She's at her desk, and I know where her little buzzer button is beneath the desk. The computer guy told me about it because he was the one who installed it, and said, I'm quitting. I don't want to be a part of your criminal school. And just in case the buzzer was just a buzzer and not also a speaker, I pressed the PA button on her wall and said, Miss OP is quitting today because you are all a bunch of hateful, unprofessional, mean-spirited douchebags. Except Mr. Computer and Miss Music. You're cool. I decided to finally take my darling Doug up on his offer for me to be a stay-at-home mum. And I'm cool with mother-in-law, she can stay. Epilogue. I emailed our school's district superintendent, our city's mayor, state governor, the entire school board, and our local newspaper with all the files of photos, audio, and video I had taken, along with the terse, one-page summary of what had been going on. Within weeks, every single one of the teachers and administrators, except the computer lab guy and the music lady, who I made special effort to prove had participated in no wrongdoing, had been fired and had their credentials at least suspended. and, in most cases, revoked outright. Only innocent parties, like custodial staff and the like, emerged with their reputations unscathed. All of the teachers who worked at that school had been named in the school's board's inquiry as having participated in fraudulent practices, were blacklisted from teaching there or anywhere. After a few weeks of initial turmoil, all students currently enrolled in the school were, due to parental pressure, allowed to keep their existing credit completion status. Students who had already graduated did not have their diplomas rescinded. All students were given vouchers to enroll at their competing, independent charter school down the road. My own, former school was shut down and stayed abandoned for a couple of months, but eventually turned into an electronics store. All the other stuff happened within a month of my quitting. But I told my hubby about it on the very day I came home. Clayton and Sarah thought it was pretty lol. I've since made new friends around the town to go along with Computer Guy and Music Lady as colleague friends. Especially with other mums. Doug is doing amazing at work and is thinking of starting his own company. Life is good. Oh my goodness, has to be one of my favorite stories I've ever read. It was so long, but it was so worth it at the end. Like, she did everything right, and I just give her props for doing that. It was amazing. Let me know what you guys thought of that, because I just thought it was really good. Maybe you guys don't think the same, but I really liked it. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.